You want to kick it off there?
You need Zoom?
WebEx.
WebEx. Yeah. Haven't heard that one.
Yeah, whenever you're district secretary, so.
Okay, we'll start the meeting. So the financial reports, I'm not sure if these numbers for the previous balance. did
Yeah,
they
the only
stay
difference
same?
is the Navy Federal, just off the award winners and their free membership. That's the only difference from it.
Oh, okay.
So $40 down more or less. So yeah, everything pretty much stayed consistent. Haven't done all too much.
And then for the flip cost, I know you wanted us to wait on that until January.
The-
1200.
The
That's
flip cause is due at the, should be around the end of the month or beginning of January is when our free trial expires. And then it's the $1,200 for the year.
Okay.
And I sent everybody the link for the flip cause, so hopefully you had a chance to test it out and if you like it or not. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I love the fact that I don't have to maintain the website, someone else can do it.
And then the QuickBook purchase, we want to, I guess, stand by for purchase because if we wait for the nonprofit status approval, it'll be $100 instead of $800.
We actually just got an update,
Yeah,
it's
so-
actually 75 now, right?
For the QuickBooks Online, that was one of the ones I wanted to motion, is that it's normally, I believe, $800 for the year. We got registered and approved as a nonprofit through TechSoup, which allows us to get it for $75. The $100, I believe there's like I think there's a $25 administration fee. I definitely recommend we get that like ASAP, so we can start plugging in our finances and use it for our end of year and tax returns and things like that.
Which we can't get I think I asked this last time, but the K&N, we can't get that one loaded onto the account, cause I got Community and Navy Federal, but I
No.
wasn't sure about the K&N one.
The KEB Honda?
Yeah, that one.
Um,
So we'll just keep that one off to the side, so it'll.
I can look into it, but the Korean banking system is very complicated on how it interfaces with software. There's like a whole bunch of little additional hurdles to jump through, so we can try, but I don't think it'll be possible.
Okay.
We'll look at it. So is everybody all in favor of purchasing QuickBooks for $75 or $100, whatever it is?
Yep.
I'm in favor.
Anyone opposed? All right. The ayes have it.
Okay,
And that'll be a yearly expense that I'll put onto our annual plan for budgeting that we'll just keep renewing every year. All right, so
Okay.
before we go on to
Oh, okay.
all the different groups, I'd like to go ahead and give our executive VP, General Chunenbaum, a chance to present his status on the Korean nonprofit tax exemption, as well as Dr. Hang Sung-kyo, who's also joining us via the WebEx.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
Okay, good, great.
Sorry, I can't fit everybody in on the
Hear
screen.
Jeremy well, but the rest of you, I can't hear business, but anyway. So, Dr. Hong has been, my understanding is he's trying to establish AFA, the LA chapter, as a foundation within Korea. And one of the processes that is involved is we have to get recognition Secondly is that once we establish this corporate body, we need to make sure that we have a good mechanism for transparency. We don't want this capability to be misused. And what I mean by capability is for a corporate body or for any business, if they come to us right now and donate 1,000,000 won, it comes out of pocket of the individual. He cannot get a tax break. But if we establish ourselves as a corporate body, we can write a receipt which will allow him to get a tax break, which in turn will allow us to make it easier for us to ask for money from donations. So that's why we want to establish this corporate body. So I just wanted to make sure that the board fully understands what I am trying to do, that you guys concur with the efforts, and with your consent and permission, we will start initiating this process. If everything goes well, within the next 6 months or even earlier, we can establish this corporate body, and we'll be able to more easily ask for donations. That's it.
Alright. Was everybody able to hear that?
Barely.
So, yeah, sorry, using my phone, my audio's not very loud, but basically, he was saying that his friend's process doesn't require us to, get a sponsorship through a ministry. It's a possibility that we can try. The best way to do it would be to have whoever's the Korean executive vice president of the chapter be the one who has the oversight of that entity or that process, and that we need to have controls in place within our own chapter to have a strong oversight so that we don't lose that responsibility through any kind of fraud or anything like that. So if you guys are in favor of having him proceed down that path, we can vote on that here today. So I would say those in favor of pursuing a Korean corporate body, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Alright, the ayes have it. So the motion to establish a Korean corporate body passed.
Okay, gentlemen, I have my movement orders and I will execute. Dr. Hong, do you concur with all of this?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Let me go to Korean for just 1 second. What's that you guys are what
So he's briefing the professor in Korean right now.
First time going to the meeting, but,
Yes.
yeah, so our executive vice president, basically had chapter review and chapter ten has been signed. And then each district will be oversaw by executive council, so the secretary vote. He is the executive vice president, so over there, but he's a retired, Korean retired. Possible knowledge. So he's had 38 years of law firm. He has a lot of connections. Obviously, being Kingsborough, he can feedback on how successful this chapter can now grow to be. So that deal is we have to get $100,000 a year in donations. Right now, we only get about 60 to 80 in donations. And we have to get smaller, and then we can do our education STEM programs, how to take personal development, scholarships.
3 zeros. That's it.
Yeah, last year when we put on donation, some of that happened like 51 or $60,000. And that cost over $16,000 from 3 different donors.
That's part of
Most
it.
donors get 10,000 or 5,000 in donors. So we already got applicant status in the US. And we got exempt us once we get that. Doing business
for whoever is in the subcommittees.
they have to say yes to getting donations in that email.
Yeah.
But if, like you said before, if it's not
Really,
there,
really,
you can't
we
claim
really
it.
haven't been able to
Because we're not in a good place after something.
code it and really
So
focus on
that's why we got them on board.
try
to
to
help
prevent them to
get some of those processes so it's easier for a community member to get that fast and there's for roll out more paperwork, logistics and things like that. So it's gonna be in front of council. That is probably the best side of that program, especially with our organizations. We can help with a lot of.
They can benefit from it.
they can benefit from it, not just.
So we've been trying to do it for years.
That has.
Yeah, it was no nine, yeah.
You know, been looked at before.
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is.
It's just been a hard conversation.
Very
It's not
good
easy.
communication, person,
Agency.
very good in communication, so.
Since we're all the work, so like,
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
they be working it for a while because they got stalled.
I was just trying to get the green government to accept us, saying that we're
One of the
fair.
deals this year is January, February,
We're not the same kind of problem.
So,
Yeah.
all right, everybody listen up, please. Okay, go ahead, sir.
That's what Dr. Moon said. So, what he has been trying to do is establish the Miguel chapter as a foundation associated with the Ministry of National Defense. Once we do that, and we submit our papers, the Ministry of National Defense will then submit a request to the Ministry of Finance, 2 years of transactions of the chapter, and ask for a tax exempt status. That's what he has been trying to do. Unfortunately, the Ministry of National Defense initial response was that there's never been a precedence for such a thing, and that they were able to help. So what Dr. Moon has done was go to Jeremy Nickel and ask for completed documents, which he received, which he intended to go to the Ministry of National Defense and plead for the case. With the COVID situation, he has been unable to meet with the Ministry of National Defense people, and that's where he was. I asked him if he saw my email and if he could work, and he said that he did, but he's not sure whether it would work or not. So that's where we are. I was under the impression, like Dr. Moon, that his method was the only way to get our foundation recognized. It is only that I asked my friend to look into this that he came up with this option. So I just want to leave a small window open saying that what I'm trying to do might not work. Keeping my fingers crossed. My friend is a very capable person. I double checked whether it would work or not. He said he and his legal people, tax people said that it will work. So hopefully it will. And if it does, we'll get a confirmation from the governor. So just want to make sure that I'm clear on that. So there is a gap in the understanding of Dr. Moon and myself and my friend. But I believe that so just want to make sure that we're all on the same sheet. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to clarify one more thing with you. With the best person to be in oversight of this process and the, I guess the program going forward in the future, the best person to be oversight would be a Korean national. So I wanted to check and see, how do you feel, is it something that would be better fit for the executive vice president, or would we think that that might fall more on the shoulders of Dr. Hong, for example, as the vice president of government?
That's up to you. The initiative of making this happen, establishing a corporate body, I think
We lost you, Dr. Hong. There you go.
Because non-profit organization is essential requirement for that tax exemption. But how can we verify non-profit organization in Korea? Because we don't have any documentation about that. So that's the first problem to be a tax exemption organization in Korea. So I checked the M&A officials. They answered me. They don't have this kind of cases so far. So they are initially negative on this issue. But I'm going to discuss it face to face with the M&A officials soon after the Corona COVID-19 situation improved. So it is recommended if we can make legal documents in Korea as a non-profit organization. That's the best way to start the tax exemption organization. If we don't, we can't get it. Then we have to discuss it in depth with the M&A official soon to find out the way to being a tax exemption organization. That's what I have found so far.
All right.
Dr. Hall.
Yeah.
So I know that.
Okay.
I thought that was the only process myself, right?
Yeah.
But my associate tells me there's another way.
Okay.
Did you read the email?
Yeah, I read it. Yeah.
So do you think that there is a possibility that will work?
Actually, I don't know, but
So
I
you don't know, right? So
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
right.
either. So I'm just asking the committee to understand that that's where we are, and let's at least try. And if this works, fine. If it doesn't,
Okay then.
we'll do what we've been trying to do.
All right. That's good. Jeremy, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir, I do. Actually, my thought process might be to attack this in parallel. Work the General Chunbaum method while continuing towards finding a way to get Korean legal documentation. So if it does, if the first method does not work by chance, we haven't really lost any ground. We've still been moving forward. So I'd kind of like to work both of them at the same time if possible.
All right.
Does everybody else agree with that?
Another one is the M&A officer recommended me to try to register in local government, like Gyeonggi province government, because it is much easier than central government organization. That's what the M&A officer recommended me as one option.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what we got told before. We tried to do it with Seoul Ministry of International Affairs, and they told us no, that we would have to go to the province level. So we were kind of expecting that.
All right.
Yeah, so I think we're all in agreement to proceed with the first method, General. Have you pursue that, and then I will work with you, Dr. Hong, on how can we establish the nonprofit stuff using, you know, in Korea legally, not just under America. All right, thank you both. I appreciate it. All right.
Jeremy, I have another question. Previously, didn't you provide tax exemption document for the donators before?
We've only been able to provide them with a U.S. tax exemption document, but they're not able to use it because it's not recognized by the Korean government. So we still provided them with a document, but they weren't able. They can't use it.
Yes. Okay then.
Okay. You want to go ahead?
Yeah.
On to the next.
I will try in my own way. And at the same time, I wish General Trump will make it better.
Yeah, I think if we you know we do the military tactic and we flank it from both sides, I think we're bound to get one of them to stick, right?
Alright.
Okay, we're gonna proceed on. Go ahead.
So as you know, we got approved for U.S. tax exemptions. Mr. Nichols has been working that for a while now. That was approved about 2-3 weeks ago, I believe. So that's a good thing for us. Membership community partnership. I'm not sure, has the membership VP dropped out? I'm not sure.
Yeah, so we lost our membership VP. He was picked up for first sergeant duty, and I think actually went to first sergeant school or got assigned to first sergeant, something like that.
Such stones or.
Yeah, so we don't have we have a vacancy under our VP of membership now.
So the last totals for total membership, that Mr. Nichols sent me was 74. We have 1 community partner, and the membership expiring. This was last month's numbers, so I'm guessing the 2 that was expiring 13 days ago probably didn't get renewed.
So, real quick, Joe, we do need to finish processing the community partners. There's only 1 that's in the system, but we've had at least 5 or 6 this year, so we need to process their membership paperwork. And that's $45 per, so that's probably another $200 roughly. Quick math.
Who has that?
I will try to introduce my fellows to join the AFA membership. So
Yeah.
I expect several
Lifetime membership.
join.
Tell them lifetime membership. We could always use lifetime members.
And
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Who has those community partnership? Because I don't. Oh, you-
You're asking for receipt.
Yeah.
okay.
So I sent the names yesterday to Miss Yee, our VP of Community Partners, but I'll follow up with Sergeant Boober here, VP of Finance, to get those forms processed.
Okay, old business, I didn't have anything at this time. New business, we're still awaiting the national to approve the new constitution and bylaws. They're sent, as of 13 November. QuickBooks, so I think we are going to purchase those. Yes, we're gonna purchase that. And the flip cost donor database needs to be populated, as well as make the updates on it as
Yeah.
well.
So I populated the initial donors into the FlipCause donor management system, but now we gotta go back through and populate the historical data.
Alright, and this is just an ongoing thing to sync up with Kunsan whenever they can get their
Yeah,
numbers
so,
up and running.
with regards to Kunsan, once we get that national approval, status and everything, then we can start pressing that paperwork down with the Kunsan leadership. And once we're identified as a private organization there, then I'll start standing up the council at that base. And at that time, hopefully that'll probably be, I'm foreseeing probably early spring, hopefully. And then once we have that, then we'll have either a WebEx style forum or a Zoom or the live videos as well, and then potential of them coming up here if COVID allows and their schedules allow. At least quarterly, recommended at least quarterly attendance. So.
Translation service needs to be uploaded, and this is going to be uploaded in Flipcost or?
No, the translation upload means we need to upload funding to it.
And the newsletter should be getting wrapped up and ready to send out early next month. So event calendar, what's hot is the 2021 annual activity plan.
And as I spoke to you earlier, I did a good review of it, and there's only a couple changes that we need to make on that before we can finalize it. And the main ones are making sure that we incorporate that there's 4 potential CCF graduations a year. That's the 2 at Kunsan and 2 here, with the $500 scholarships on those as opposed to the $400 scholarship that we've been doing in the past. So that's the only 2 changes that I saw that were needing.
And once this is updated,
I don't remember if it was ALS as well. down there too.
ALS has always been on there. We've always had 8 ALS graduations. 2 of those were at Kunsan, 6 of those were at Osan. But for some reason, we never really incorporated the Pitzenbarger Award and the CCF graduations for there. And through my conversations with the education officer there, they've always submitted their packages to headquarters AFA, but due to us being able to sustain the chapter funds, that's something that we can take on. So since we have the funds for it, that's, they can compete at this level as opposed to competing for headquarters Air Force. But ALS, we've always incorporated them in their schedule.
all right. So fingers crossed, COVID pending, of course, always COVID, isn't it? So we're going to start to look forward to plan for in April or May the annual excuse me, Aerospace Award Luncheon to recognize our donors, award winners, Teacher of the Year. We'll probably start at least looking for a location starting next month, just to kind of pre-plan ahead, just in case we can get a good go ahead to do that. Fundraising. Did someone drop off the fund? No. So fundraising is mostly from donors. So when we do set up, hopefully we do set up this luncheon, we can actually get donors from that. Let's see, aerospace education. So there, I guess we do have 2 cyber patriot teams at our local high school, or local middle high school, with around 10 to 11 students each. Actually, they did have a round 3 competition this Saturday.
Round 2.
Round 2, sorry.
Round 3 is January 22nd.
So if you like to come, I'm not sure if we can have.
So not this Saturday?
No, the next one is January 22nd.
So the round 3 is January.
January.
Yeah. The round 2 was last Saturday.
Last Saturday. Apologies. Let's see. So there is an ALS graduation today. Our president is there supporting, I think, one of her troops.
Yeah, she just sent me the name.
Okay.
So I'm gonna wait for her. I asked her when we can present the check, so I'm just gonna wait to hear back whenever she says.
And then we have a CCAF graduation on the 21st of next year.
Okay.
And also for awards and recognition, I'd like to congratulate Robert Montevallo, who just PCS'd out of here, and Mr. Nichols for receiving the Exceptional Service Award. From
Those
AFA.
are the coins you got, right?
Yeah, here's the one for Small Chapter Award.
And we did win the Small Chapter Jack Ross Award.
So this one is for improvements in our membership level, which is very hard for us to earn over here overseas. And then the small medal ones that you saw in the picture, those are the Medal of Merits for Lieutenant Colonel Austin Hood, our previous president, Sergeant Will Height, who was the previous vice president, and Miss Yee, who's our current community partner, VP of Community Partners.
And we do need to mail off those awards to the three individuals who have since PCS out of here. Let's see. I also need to order donor awards for those who donated this year.
Actually, I'd like to put that one to motion. So I think some of you saw the awards that I picked up for the last year. It was those big aluminum cylinders.
Yeah.
Those are $125 each. That's including the cost of the shipping. They're ordered from Paris.
I like them.
So I would like to continue with that if you'd like. So probably at the first of the year, once the year's closed out, if we didn't receive any last minute donors, we can order the 5 or 6 that we need and have those shipped in and available for April, May Aerospace Awards dinner or luncheon, whichever it ends up being.
Motion for discussion.
Will probably be a luncheon because that's for students and kids as well, so it'll probably be a luncheon.
Got a motion for discussion.
So, are we giving the same award, so people who received last year, are they getting the same award, or are these 3 different individuals who are receiving this year?
Which you talking about the Medal of Merit Awards?
No, the donor awards that we gave, so for the single objects you gave out last year?
We haven't given them out yet because we haven't had the meeting yet.
Or the luncheon, so you still have from last year then?
I do.
Okay.
Mhm.
I should make sure that people who were receiving awards last year are getting the same thing this year. That was my discussions about.
Yeah, so we'll be presenting the ones from 2019. If we can have the luncheon, we'll present the donor recognition awards for 2019 and for 2020. But so far for 2020, we've only had, I think, 5, maybe 6 donors.
So none of them overlap to where if they got a 2019 and 2020, they're
They're-
not getting the same thing?
That's what I'm
It'll
That's
be-
what he's trying to ask.
Yeah, it'll be the same thing. Unless you guys want to change up unless you want to change the trophy or award
That'd
every
be my
year.
recommendation, that you wouldn't give the same trophy to an individual who already got it. I mean, I know the individual probably receiving, wanted to be meaningful, and especially them, and I wouldn't want to do the same thing more than one time for a donation.
I think about it in the sense of if you won first quarter award and second quarter award, there's in most cases gonna be the exact same award. It's just for different periods of time. So I wouldn't see why it would be any different for giving a donor gift in appreciation, even though it's a duplicate, or even though it's the same as what they've already gotten. I mean, if you get an annual award and you get another annual award, it's probably gonna be the same thing. So, in my thinking, so when you look at people's cabinets and they got multiple on there, it just shows that they've gotten it over multiple periods. They've gotten the same appreciation item over multiple periods of time. So, that's just my opinion.
All right, so we can actually, we'll table that one for future discussion on, we know we need to get the awards for the donors, it's just we need to discuss if we're gonna use the same exact model as the 2019, or are we gonna create a new model? So we'll table that for a future. Sorry, I lost my. There we go. These COVID messages keep messing up my video.
So grants and scholarships.
Jeremy, can I
Oh,
go
go
on?
ahead, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Last year I enjoyed the space challenge program a lot, and I thought it was very useful program for the Korean youth. So if we coordinate earlier, then we can upgrade that program better up, and it is very useful for Korean youth.
So for those that don't know, last year we did what's called the K-STEP Korean Space Technology Exploration Program. We taught it to a church in Dongtan with the 45 Korean
Yeah.
students. Very successful, very enthusiastic. We haven't been able to really do it this year because of the COVID thing, but recently we've had a peak in interest here at the Osan High School as well. I've been talking with the teachers about standing up the program here on base as well.
I see.
So, you wanna talk about that one more with the VP of Aerospace to build the program up with the off-base community?
Yeah, why don't we promote that excellent program? It's a community activity, superb.
Mm.
You know.
All right.
Disagree with you, that's my program.
Yeah, Corey's all in favor. That was his
Yeah,
program.
my program. Yeah, so I don't know if you recall, I was one of the primary instructors for that program at the church. Definitely would want to reconstitute it, but COVID has been hindering us from being able to have those type of gatherings, and definitely with that the quantity of students, we wouldn't be able to have it back at church with 45 odd students. Probably right now, for like until we have a vaccine that's being distributed for ourselves and the Korean populace, we probably have to keep it down, maybe like 15, 20 students.
So what we can do is we can update our annual activity plan to try to reflect that on if we can pinpoint a location where we would like to host the next 1 or 2 events. Maybe you can help out with that, Professor. Help us find
Yes.
a venue, an avenue, and an interested party, and we'll have to kind of play it by ear, but we can plan for it.
Grants and scholarships are now open. I believe those on the AFA websites.
So the AFA website has the ones for last year. We need to update it with the information for this year, but it is on the afa.org main website. I like our version because our version is a little bit more user friendly.
Okay.
But I need to have it updated with the 2020 information,
Okay.
or 2021 information, I guess.
Copy. Okay, officer elections, they'll be next month. Need to start identifying who is leaving so we can advertise for the new positions. And the new council will begin on 1 February 2021. And for the people who are in the positions now, are we going to ask if they want to stay in these positions for another 6 months?
Yeah, so that was a change that we made on the last constitution and bylaws. And instead of making everybody stop and recompete every 6 months, we allowed it to where if you're here for multiple years, like you're a command sponsorship or a CAPE, and you wish to stay in your position, you can stay in your position for up to 3 years. And then if it's time for you to go, you just give us a notice, hopefully 30 days or more, and we can find you a replacement, and you can transition out. So if you plan on PCSing before the end of the next cycle, which would be starting August, you might want to look at maybe letting us know so we can transition you out earlier or later and not get surprised by it.
So I'll go around the room for any closing comments. So anyways,
Just happy to be back. Hopefully, as we turn the page from 2020 to 2021, we can start having more regular meetings, get our membership where I feel like it needs to be, so that we can be a more active chapter.
I just kind of got a question. So, like, I've noticed y'all got a couple of vacancies and everything with that. Are y'all going to do possibly like an earlier one in February to fill those vacancies? Because I'll be here till October, and it's one of those like I can go ahead and start now.
Sorry, I'm gonna just do a quick side discussion. I'm about to lose this WebEx chat, General and Dr. Holland. So if it cuts out, I'll follow up with you after, okay?
All right.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, guys.
All right, bye.
Good luck. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
so-
I mean, I don't mind waiting till February.
Well, it'd be January. I mean, the actual election itself will be in January, effective February, but
Yes, sir.
that would be the question is, since we don't have a membership, VP currently,
I'm sorry, what was it called? What was the question?
do it, since we have a couple vacancies now, as opposed to waiting until January's elections and February start date
Yeah.
to try to fill those vacancies, trying to do those now, and then they would just do the full term plus the extra
And we can
month
do
and a
that,
half.
but what I would suggest is like whoever fills these roles, we can fill these roles at any time.
Mhm.
If there's ever a need. And that was kind of the design of the way we set it up. However, I would always like to think that we're thinking ahead, so whoever gets picked up now has to have enough time to cover up until the one in August.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah, and
No, I
that's
don't
why I'm
wanna-
saying my DEROS is October,
Yes.
and because I'm only here for 1 year, but during that time, I would definitely like to fill a position.
Absolutely, yes.
So, so yeah, if y'all be willing, I was looking at the treasurer position for District 1, so.
Yes.
so I don't like McKee and Perkins. I haven't seen any emails or
Yeah, McKee.
some of you I haven't seen at
McKee's
all.
emailed me a few, I don't know, I think she's maybe emailed me once, but nothing really about her program and what's going on with it. Perkins, he's a new one,
Oh,
he signed up maybe last month.
okay.
Right?
Oh, I remember that. Okay.
Trying to remember which one I put him on.
Oh, awards
Oh,
and
yeah,
recognition.
Awards
Perkins,
and recognition,
yeah,
that's right.
awards.
Oh, that's
And then we
right.
actually had one guy who, Naonal,
Yeah, they know, he's
They
the
know?
new VA.
I tried to send him emails, but I kept getting rejected.
Me
so
too.
I'm sorry, it's Hanal.
Yeah,
I know,
Hanal,
okay.
H.
Yeah, so I need to fix that.
Yeah.
I kept trying to, I'm like, crap, I
That
don't
might
know
be
his
why
name.
he's not answering.
That's
Yeah.
the obvious. Okay.
It's H-E-N,
H-A-E.
H-A-E,
The spelling's right, just put an H instead of an N.
Yeah.
N-E-L-T.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's still Chris, right, Christopher?
I
Yeah, he
can
was
send
just-
you an email with him CC because he's on.
I'm sorry, yeah, if you would, I've been trying to send him information, but it kept getting
Yeah, he was just
rejected,
that they
so-
asked the one on Tuesday.
And then I tried to look him up in the global and I couldn't find him.
Yeah, that's
That'll be
probably
why.
So we can do that now if you would like to, you know, take a vote.
Yeah, is there anybody else that's running for positions in here? For vacancies?
I'm curious about leadership development.
I know the leadership and development one, right, that's one of the ones is a position we wanted to fill, but it's never been filled before, so it would be one that's being stood from ground up with no history on it. Can you
Well, the
speak
main-
to details on it?
The main concept of the leadership development one is to spot future talent. That's its main purpose. There's a program called the ELP, the Exceptional Leader Program. It's where you identify people to fill, what do you call it? Well, roles within the chapter, but also roles at the higher levels of AFA. And sometimes they can even get picked up for an internship. That's where I'm trying to get. And go do an internship at the HQ.
Okay. I think we were talking about that previously.
So it's talent acquisition, talent search. is its
Talent
main-
scout.
Yeah, talent scout.
Basically.
And it can also develop a little bit more than that, because that could be a hard process with such a high turnover here, trying to spot people and build them up within that short window could be kind of hard.
I think a better use of that, especially with 1 year turnover, may be identifying people who are incoming and bringing them into our chapter, especially with the
Kind of like membership.
Yeah.
other chapters are like as we get the lieutenants in from ROTC and from the academy, because they, if I'm not mistaken, they already have the AFA membership, but we don't utilize them once they get here.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a way to use that program is like identify people who are coming in here and like so we can have them be embraced by the chapter, like, hey, we got a need for your whatever talent you guys have that they have.
So,
Also, we get the first round of vaccines, 100 million doses.
nice.
They're not going to us. We're not that important yet. But yeah, we will. I mean, since we already have the vaccines, I'm guessing we should be getting them like in February or March, possibly.
So that might help us with our big award luncheon.
What in the annual activity plan is going to be seriously affected by us going down in Charlie on Friday, kind of thing, for the foreseeable future?
We had really nothing. We pretty much
Yeah.
scrapped this entire year once COVID kicked off, so we weren't planning anything.
Yeah. So normally like February, March timeframe is when we do our donor breakfast or donor dinner, you know, and it's really one of the only ones we do in the early spring, late winter, right?
In the past, what's kind of been our staple, if you will, was the Air Force Ball, and we would do a pre-reception of the Air Force Ball, and we would present awards to the donors and stuff at that time. However, over the last 3 years, it's kind of evolved into a different process where they want to do it on base. It's much more complex. We're not able to get the donors the recognition that they deserve, so we're trying to stand up our own AFA, if you will, staple, and that would be our annual awards, you know, aerospace awards, luncheon or dinner. Like I said, it'd probably be luncheon because it's recognizing the kids and students and stuff like that, so luncheon would be more appropriate. And then we can either do that, kind of like right after that, we can roll it into the, and here's our plan for the rest of this year, or, you know, and try to, that's how we also get our donations, is we present them with that plan. So we don't wanna do it too late in the year, but we don't wanna do it too early, because one, like the January timeframe, February timeframe, you've got everybody traveling and holidays, and it's not just American holidays, it's Korean holidays and Chuseok and all the other stuff that's going on.
New Year.
Yeah, Lunar New Year, everything.
They can travel now.
So it's really hard. Well, we want to make it consistent, so we can pretty much say like every April, after the end of Cyber Patriot, at the end of Stellar Explorer, at the end of maybe K-Step Cyber Camp programs, we're going to have this annual award luncheon. We're going to present award winners with scholarships. We're going to recognize our Teacher of the Year award, who had done great things in the world of STEM. We're going to recognize our donors for their donations over the past year, and whatever else we want to tack onto it, make it our big presentation.
Should make it to a week. I just keep naming all these things. I'm like, it should be like an 8 week.
Hey, that's also an option. Like depending on what VP you're a member of. Like maybe you are the VP of aerospace and you want to have a STEM week, or you're the VP of membership and you want to have an AFA week of doing something for membership drives every day for a week and making something new each time. Be creative. It's your positions. There's no limitations, as long as it's not illegal, or unethical, or immoral. Those three things, right? We really give you all the flexibility to lead how you want and shape your position as much as you want. I'm out here just winging it, and so far it's been doing okay. But I don't have no clue what I'm doing either. I just try things, and I failed a couple things. We tried one website, worked great, but it's kind of like just too much for me. I'm trying to disperse the workload. So the FlipCause website, what I love about it is we pay the $1,200 a year. It's more expensive than what we're using right now, but anytime you need an update, you just email them and they do all the technical stuff for you. We don't have to have a web designer. We don't have to have a programmer. someone like, you know, like me, waiting on me to make updates. So it takes the workload off the chapter. You would think that it would be super easy to find Korean linguists here in Korea. It is the hardest thing in the world, so
I know one.
we're gonna pay for a
Who wants to
service.
be involved?
Because,
Yeah, they want,
Hired.
so we pay money to a service.
especially for translation.
And for translations, and the reason why is we need consistent, reliable stuff, and I hate to say it, but honestly, one of the best ways to get that is you pay for it.
Mhm.
So anytime we can use our resources to fund things that make our life much easier and more convenient, I'm all for it. I know everybody else will be for it. And that's where you wanna bring those ideas to here, so if you got a plan that you wanna change something, if you wanna add something to the Constitution bylaws, if you wanna throw a leadership development week, or whatever, or the month of leadership thing, and you wanna do something that costs money, throw it out here, get it on the budget, we're all for it. Membership is a huge thing for us, and that happens not just with the VP of membership, but with everybody here. I need to start trying to expand us into the Korean community and into the ROCAF and get them to sign up. One of the most, I hate to say it was embarrassing, but probably one of the most embarrassing things I had was when I first met General Chunenbun, and he's telling me how he's the vice president of the ROC Army Association that has like 15,000 members, and he's like, so how many do you have? And I'm like, 200.
Mhm.
Right? And it's not that we suck, it's just we lose people as fast as we can gain them
Yeah,
here in Korea.
pretty much every year we have.
But there's no reason, how many thousands of people cycle through here every year? Why, if we can keep that a consistent flow, and maybe as the VP of the membership, that's where you say, hey, AFA chapter, I would like to fund X number of memberships for free every year, budget for it. You know, and then we budget for it. And then every month at the BX, you can do a first 10 people type of thing, get free memberships. So we can keep generating those membership numbers, and that's how we get these awards. And these kind of recognitions will help you guys with your EPRs and stuff like that. And if we can expand off into the Korean community and into the ROCAF, so if you got ties with the ROCAF, help us bring them on, that'll keep us at consistent numbers. So even while the U.S. Air Force people are cycling through, we can still maintain a pretty strengthy number. So when we go to these donors and say, give us $20,000, and they're gonna be like, why? Well, we have 8,000 members. That's why. You know, they're gonna be like, oh. If we're like, well, we have 200 people, they're gonna be like, yeah, we don't care. You know, so the membership is a huge thing. It's just think of it in the terms of politics. You know, with your lobbyists and your lobby groups. The more power, the more people in your organization, the more, the stronger your voice. So. Yeah, you can start. You have something?
No, that just means 5.
Oh.
The only thing I had was, I didn't see it in here, but annual awards, when are those due? Are those the spring? Those aren't December, January timeframe, are they? Do they get pushed? to
Talking
like
about
April?
the military ones?
No, for AFA. The AFA's annual awards.
Oh,
For the unit field and the individual field awards. I thought those were coming up.
that's usually every September.
That's September time?
We didn't, the reason why you didn't realize we had it this last September is because it went virtual.
Yeah, okay.
That's what these
why.
awards were from.
Yeah, that's what I
So
couldn't
they
remember
finally
dates.
mailed them to us. So the next thing that's coming up, I think it's gonna be virtual, is the Air Warfare Symposium in
Mhm.
February. And then in September is the National Convention
Mhm.
with the Aerospace Conference.
Got it.
And that usually coincides with the Air Force Ball. It's like a 1 week, week and a half, something like that.
That's all.
Oh, no, I think I said mine.
I don't have anything else. This meeting is adjourned. Next meeting will be 21 January, same time, but probably back at the. It is up.
It is. I already reserved it, or I'm sure it's reserved. So, E Club, Silver Star Lounge, 1600.
I need to go purchase some kind of video conferencing thing. That's what I need to do. Just thinking out loud.
Okay.
If you want, I can talk to that linguist on Monday to see if he's interested in helping us out.
I really wouldn't ask the linguist to translate, like,